Tonight, Ghislaine Maxwell speaking in court for the first time since her high-profile trial began, declining to testify in her own defense, telling the judge, "Your Honor, the government has not proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt, and so there's no reason for me to testify."
Maxwell faces charges of perjury, and there are other credibility issues that the government would skewer her on the stand with.
The former British socialite charged with 6 sex-related trafficking counts, pleading not guilty to all of them. Earlier in the day, Eva Dubin, Epstein's one-time girlfriend, taking the stand for the defense. She's the convicted sex offender's former girlfriend of more than a decade, telling the jury she was never involved in group sex or group sexualized massages with Epstein and alleged victim Jane, who testified earlier this month. Dubin told the jury she has a medical condition that's impacting her memory. Michelle Healy, a former employee of Epstein, took the stand after Dubin, saying she met Jane but never took part in any sexual activity with her. Using only first names, Jane previously testified that women named Eva and Michelle took part in the sexual abuse that occurred at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion, starting when she was just 14.
If the testimony is complicated or cumbersome, that works in favor of the defense. They don't have the burden of proof. They will tell the jury the government has that burden beyond a reasonable doubt. So the more complicated, the better it is for the defense.
Dubin's testimony a part of the defense's strategy to undermine the statements of 4 alleged victims who say Maxwell lured them into Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring, while the prosecution tries to prove Maxwell wasn't just an innocent bystander to Epstein's abuse, she helped facilitate and participate in it.
The prosecution's strategy is to put the now dead Jeffrey Epstein on trial and show that Maxwell was so associated with him and so involved in his abuse that she either knew, should have known, or directly participated in that abuse.
And Tom Winter joins us now from Lower Manhattan. As we saw there in your piece, Tom, Ghislaine Maxwell speaking in court for the first time. What else can you tell us about that moment? You were in the courthouse.
Well, she stood up and very clearly she was prepared to say what she was going to say. Every time that a trial comes to the end, from the defense's perspective, the judge has to ask them, do you want to testify? Do you understand the ramifications? She clearly knew what she was going to say in her British accent, very strong, said, look, I don't think the government's proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt, and I'm not going to testify, Gabe.
And Tom, how much longer is this trial expected to take?
So at this point, it's just down to the closing arguments, which will begin on Monday at 9 a.m. sharp. We'll hear from the government, then we'll hear from the defense. The government then has an opportunity to provide a rebuttal. That should only last about 45 minutes. Then the jury will receive their instructions as to how they're to proceed, and deliberations might end as late as 6 p.m. on Monday. But by Tuesday, the jurors will be in the room deciding Ghislaine Maxwell's fate. And I think, Gabe, we're going to get a verdict here probably before Christmas.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.